That's why I think also like breathwork is for everyone. I don't believe like every training, every yoga or like CrossFit or whatever. I don't think that it is for everyone, but I truly believe that breathwork is for everyone.
Welcome to the Deeper Awareness Podcast, where profound discoveries and transformative stories come to life. I'm your host, Josh Perry, alongside delightful Hannah Oxley. Together, we'll be embarking on an inward journey to experience life to a new depth. In this podcast, we'll explore the mysteries of the mind, body, and spirit, delving into the power of breathwork, self-reflection, and emotional healing. Our aim is to help you add authenticity, connection, and joy to your relationships while learning the art of belonging to yourself by being your true, authentic self. Join us as we share thought-provoking interviews and discussions with our inspiring guests who have unlocked the secrets to living a more authentic and purposeful life. Through engaging storytelling and enlightening conversations, we'll unravel the profound truths that lead to self-discovery and inner growth. Whether you're a seasoned seeker of truth or just beginning your quest for self-discovery, this podcast is for anyone longing to embrace the depths of their true essence. Are you ready to open your heart and mind to embark on this remarkable journey towards deeper awareness? The Deeper Awareness Podcast, where wisdom and inspiration await. Let's journey together, hand in hand, as we uncover the treasures of self-discovery and transformation.
Hey, it's Hannah, and I want to welcome you to today's episode where we sat down with our dear friend Malin. Malin is a breathwork facilitator and yoga instructor living in Norway. She graduated from the Pause Facilitator program in the same cohort as Josh. This was my first time meeting her, and it was such an honor. Join us as she shares about her journey of coming home to herself using breathwork and how her brand, Begin Within, came to her as this divine download. She has created a beautiful community around the same idea of turning inward, but with the encouragement and support of others in this nurturing online platform. Malin's light shines so bright, and I can't wait for you to experience her glow. No matter if you are watching or listening, you will feel the gift of her presence. Enjoy the show.
When nothing else in the outside world fulfills you anymore, you are left with no other choice but to begin looking within. And I know your community name, so I'm going to let you tie all that together. So just start with a little bit about who you are, and then just like what created that desire for you to go from the outside inward.
Yeah. Well, my name is Malin and I'm from Sweden. I moved to Norway 15 years ago with my best friend because in Norway they earn a lot more money than what we do in Sweden. So me and my best friend had this like feeling of saving a lot of money, go out travel, like Asia, Thailand, everything. But I met my man, and we got like after 3 months together, we were 8 weeks pregnant. So it went by pretty fast. So I haven't been in Thailand, or like for me now, I want to go to Bali. I haven't been there yet. But like it's the best choice. I don't regret it like at all. So I guess for me, my journey, I would say the spiritual journey, it started somewhere when I became a mom. Maybe a little bit before, but I wasn't maybe open to it. But I start to buy like angel cards or oracle decks, and like got more and more curious. But then, I mean, it was 15 years ago, 14 years ago. So it was kind of scary to be in that space back then. I mean, it's totally different from what it is now. Um, but then my second one was born 3.5 years later. and I started opening up more. I think I had the same feeling as you just said, Hannah, that like I missed something in my life, and I missed, like, I started to connect with yoga, and that was also kind of awkward back then. Like, no, the people that were doing yoga was like the hippie ones, like super vegan, smelly, like that was the society believed, right? So that was super scary for me to like telling people that I start to do yoga. But it opened up something with me too, like I guess just connecting back home with myself. And in 2016, I was together with my best friend, and we were just sitting and like discussing creating like children's books for like you say, talked about Louise Hay, like she has some beautiful children's book, and we were like, oh, can we create something like that? And just suddenly the name Begin Within just popped down to my head. It was like and I told it to my best friend. I was like, yeah, what about Begin Within? And she was like, yeah, that was a cool name, but she didn't react to it. But for me, it was like, oh, it's the best name. And I didn't know where it come from, but like for me, it's so integrated in me now. Like I feel that I am Begin Within. But I guess I didn't understand back then what the name actually meant, because I mean, I read about like, yeah, go within, do meditation, listen to the voice inside, like, but now I really understand what it means. Like, that's where we need to start. Just like you were talking about the seasons, Hannah, like when we like connect with ourselves and we slow down, we start to hear the voice, like what our bodies want to tell us, or like seeing the seasons. And yeah, and fast forward, breathwork came into my life, especially in 2020. It was a little bit before that, but the pause breathwork came in 2020, and that was the year that like everything was about the breath. um, and yeah, now I feel even more than ever that my name Begin Within really matters to people and to myself. Yeah.
I love that. Just a curious question. When the name came to you, did it come in English or did it come
Yeah.
in like okay? Just
Yeah.
to know if there was like a cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's really interesting too. I have a memory, but I don't really remember when, but I guess when I was like 16, 17, 18, something like that. I like just realized that every time I watched a movie, I took off the texting because I wanted to learn more English. And I have this memory like, why do I do that? Why do I need to learn more English? And then it was like, because you need it in the future.
Mm.
And I didn't know the answer, but now I understand. So everything for me comes a lot in English. And I don't know, it have always been the language that really speaks to me. And I guess it's more now because I am from Sweden, but I live in Norway, so I don't speak that much Swedish anymore. Like it's hard for me to speak Swedish, even if the language are kind of like. Um, so that's why I started like to write in English also, because it felt more natural to me to, because I couldn't like connect with the Swedish, and it felt really uncomfortable to write in Norwegian because I wasn't Norwegian. So that was easy for me to start to write in English, even if that was super scary in the beginning. So yeah, the name came in English.
That's cool because you learned it. You wanted to learn it so
Yeah,
early so that you could get these downloads. But who knows what else is to come too?
yeah,
Well, like big audiences that
yeah.
they speak in
Yeah,
English.
and that's my
Yeah.
dream, right? I mean, I love to connect with people from the whole world. Like for some, they're like, why don't you just speak Norwegian or Swedish? I'm like, because I want to speak with the whole world. I want to connect with the whole world. Like I love to sit like this knowing that, yeah, you sit on the other side of the world, but like just feeling both of your energy, for me, is just the most beautiful thing. Like we can sit like this. I mean, social media is what it is, but if you really use it like consciously, uh, I really and truly believe that we can connect with the most amazing humans.
Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about how you thought of the community and, when you were just like, I'm doing this. And yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah. Like I always love community. I love to gather people. I love to just sit like this and just talk both online, live, on phone. Um, but and when I like was um, in the training of becoming a breathwork facilitator, like holding these group session was really fulfilling for me, and I also saw that it was really fulfilling for others. And I know that feeling to like back to 2015 and like to 2018 when I really longed for that community. Like I wanted to find like-minded people. Like I've always had a lot of amazing friends and I still have, but like being on this spiritual journey, like starting with yoga and all these crazy things, uh, I missed that kind of community. And I guess that's why I always like to like, yeah, gather people, going to cacao ceremonies or dancing ceremonies or like these kind of things to just gather. And so I just continue after graduating. I was like, I want to continue to have this feeling. I mean, some people can come and just breathe with me, but I love to that we get to know each other a little bit and everyone contributes and some is sharing their like hard stuff or beautiful stuff or funny stuff or whatever. And it's so much healing to have that space. So it's not my community. I really say that it's our community. Even if it's still really small, it's beautiful to see that it's slowly growing. And like yeah, I just I just love it.
I love that approach too, where like you see so many communities where it's like one person is in charge telling all these people to do certain things. But I
Mm.
found this one community where she just is constantly saying, if whoever wants to lead this circle, like, this is
Yeah.
ours. Like she's the
Yes.
beautiful soul that got it going, and thank God for that. But she just wants it to kind of switch around, and we don't we sit in a circle, but we don't go around in a circle. Like she's like, no pressure. Like whoever just wants to speak, just
Mm.
start speaking, and it always
Yes.
flows so perfectly that way.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
being able to create the space and then letting it kind of lift itself up.
Yeah. And just as you say, I think it's a lot of healing to just don't go in the circle, just like everyone that feels to, and that will also help that person that didn't want to share. Like, okay, I'm sharing me, like I'm also sharing. And I think that's a really like beautiful thing. And like in my community, I have Josh have been there, and for me it's like I'm so grateful that other people want to contribute in my community. Like it's the best thing. They don't need to be like breathwork facilitators, but just also for our community to like experience others than me. It's so nice to have like listen to different music or hear different cueings. And I actually, Josh, I got a feedback that it was so beautiful to have you there just because of that, like hearing another voice and just have a different kind of like yeah approach to your session than what I have. And I think that's also a way for us to like learn and yeah grow.
Because you never know what someone's flavor is going to resonate with you just a
No.
little bit better than someone else's. And, it just
Yeah.
connects you even further on your path. I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a question, Malin. Just in an effort to get to know you better.
Yeah.
So you've been pivotal in teaching me and showing me what safety feels like, and the idea that all parts of us are welcome, and that's present in every session I've I've been in of yours, whether it's group or individual, and I'm wondering, were you born that way? Or did you evolve into that? Was there healing that took place? My son kind of came out. He was born a specific way where he is just so open to everyone.
Mm,
And
mm.
like, people will come up and share that with me, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. He came that way.
Yeah.
I'm curious with
Oh, that's
you.
beautiful. Yeah, I guess I did the same journey as your son. Like I've always heard from my parents is like, you cannot save the whole world. But I've been like, but yes, I can. Maybe not alone, but we
Mm,
can do it together, right? And I found this beautiful book when we ended like ninth grade. I don't know how you say that in English. Is it like junior high or something?
Ninth grade, yeah, freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you are like 15, 16, we got a book from our teachers, or the whole class got a book, and we were supposed to write a sentence. So wrote in everyone's book, and they wrote in mine. And when I open it up, I haven't seen it for like, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. And it was like, wow, was I that nice? And now it feels like I'm bragging, but it was such a beautiful feeling. Like, wow, I really did a lot of, like, I really took care of the class, like with my mate. Like, I've been really caring, and I don't say that I've always been nice to everyone, but I guess I was born with a lot of empathy. Like I had never liked when someone got bullied, or when the cool people, like the bullier, when they were there, I could feel their energy. Like it wasn't a good feeling, and it wasn't a place where I wanted to be either. So, but maybe I could do better to raise my voice. I was kind of shy in that way, but I was and have always been really caring.
mm,
Thank you for the question, and thank you, Josh, for like saying that to me. It means a lot.
mhm.
Yeah.
I know I've only just met you and I feel that same safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but it's
Absolutely.
like I'm so curious, like who are you? Who made you to the human that you are today? I mean, myself, I've been super lucky in my whole life, be it with friends, with my family. I was just thinking about it yesterday. Like, I haven't been around like alcoholism. I haven't been around violence or like bullying, anything like that. Um, but I have like if someone tells me about these kind of stuff, like they have experiencing themselves, I feel like I can really feel pain inside of me, even if I don't understand like what they have been through, but I can really feel them. And for me, it's also like really, it's sometimes hard to understand that they are still alive,
Mm,
but I guess they are strong. But for me, it's sometimes it feels like I've been so lucky that it's just crazy that not everyone have that same experience, or like growing up like that. Um, but I guess maybe that's also why I have a lot of energy and caring energy to others, because I don't have a lot to carry myself. So maybe that's why I have like the energy to care about others.
I really relate to that too. And I feel like when I was younger, it's like hard to differentiate which energy is what. And suddenly
Mm.
like you could feel so sad and like, well, why am I so sad all of a sudden? But
Yeah.
it's like the more, I learn about this realm of energy, it's like, oh, I'm just, I'm an open, like Josh and I got our human design read in our last recorded call, but
Yeah.
like just that's part of what my design is. So I'm just like an
Yeah.
open vessel of,
What are you?
well,
Now I'm
I'm a
curious.
generator.
Yeah. yeah, I'm a reflector and I have all open. I'm
Oh,
totally open. So I
yeah.
guess that's why I'm also like,
Right. That's so
yeah,
fascinating. Yeah, Josh is a
yeah,
manifester.
yeah.
Josh's reading was really cool. Like he has a lot to offer the world.
I know. I know. I knew it before he did that human design, or I when I got his human design. That's the thing with reflectors, we see it before they see it themselves.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, what do you see for the future of your community or your just breathwork business in general?
Yeah, bringing breathwork to to the world, like all of us, I guess. Um, like for me, it's really the the base of everything because you always carry your breath, and again, that's how we can really start to begin within. So for me, growing my community, and also in Norway, it's not that big yet, but people are more and more open to it. It's like when I started yoga a couple of years ago. We are there now with the breath work. Um, yeah, I have a hard time like know what I want to do. I'm so like flowy. I go with the flow, and today I want to do this, and tomorrow maybe I don't want to do it, right? Um, but yeah, breathwork is really, I'm a yoga teacher too, but I love what breathwork does to myself and to other people. It's such a different, like, such a different, it gives us such a different feeling. Like yoga is amazing to do, but I guess I love more to do it myself than I love to teach it, because I feel when we do breathwork, we go more in the depth
Mhm.
and we work more with emotions and we release and we create safety, and yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest transformation that breathwork has given you?
Like right now I think it is that I'm so calm and giving, like, pardon my language, but giving more fucks. Like I've been super like afraid what people would think about me or what people would say about me, and um been kind of uh I need to find the word in English, shy. But that is totally gone, especially I think because we work so hard in the breathwork program. I guess it's hard to like say when things just went away, but I guess we just do it little by little, and suddenly all the fears are gone. And I have like less also if things happen, like things that you couldn't predict, like say that we are going on a vacation and suddenly the plans just changes, and I'm like, okay, well, something else will happen, maybe something better. I'm so much more calmer,
Mm.
and also having the tool that breathwork is just to like have been also really interesting to like be more like in tune with myself, like, okay, why do I react like that, or why do I breathe so fast now, or can I slow down my breath, like really like asking the whys to my own body. um I like breath work for me is the best thing in the world in so many ways, both for me personally, but also like for me facilitating others, like seeing the healing and like the expansion in other people. Like you can really see the difference before a session and after the session, or when you have done like a couple of sessions with just one person and you see like maybe they come in like really sad or quiet, and after a few sessions they're like shining, they're like their shoulders are like more open, and you can see that whoo, they are embracing life in a totally different way thanks to breath work. So yeah.
I agree. Like sometimes I like look I'll be in front of a group of people and I think to myself, a year ago I wouldn't be able to even just stand up in front of these people, let alone talk in front of these people, let alone hold all of these
Mm,
people while I guide them to breathe. Like it blows my mind every time that I how far like because I agree I was so shy,
mm,
so shy before doing any of this. And so it is it but I agree with you. I don't remember a time where it just switched, but I remember being terrified to speak in front of people. And now all of a sudden it's just like, "Nope,
mm.
it's because we found something that we just love. And
Yeah,
we know, we just trust that this is what we're here to do and here to
yeah.
help people this way."
And sometimes I can also feel like these judgment thoughts can come to me when I'm facilitating. And I guess you can feel it too. Like you're not, oh, this is not good. I'm talking too much. I'm talking too little. Oh, the music is too high or the breath pattern is too much. And then you like afterwards, everyone like, this is the best. Thank you so much. Wow, how did you do that? And you was like, whoa. Like really, like not because I need to hear it, but the feeling of wow, I'm doing something here for others. They are having an amazing time because I'm here doing what I love. Like that feeling is the best.
Yeah, I love that too. 'Cause sometimes I just lie there like it looks like you're not enjoying it at all.
Yeah.
And then when they wake up, like, that was so crazy. Oh, phew.
Yeah. Especially because I'm also so used to have when they have their cameras on, and sometimes I feel facilitate like in my community they are used to that and they like the safety that it gives them. But when I facilitate in other like for others, they don't have the cameras on and I'm like, okay, is it just me here? Are they just watching me or like are they breathing at all? Are they having a good time? And then they are like, oh, this was the best, thank you. And you're like, okay, cool.
So, Hannah, you may not know who Josh Connolly is. So, he's a British breathwork guy
Mm,
with, I don't know, 100,000 followers on Instagram.
mm.
Malin, can you share your experience, like how that all went down?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know how I started to follow Josh. But I guess I just saw maybe it was just like a Instagram reel or something. And he works a lot with trauma and toxic parents, like especially with alcohol abuse. So even if I don't connect with that at all, as I mentioned before, I have never had that kind of I've never seen my parents drunk or any like no family members. Like I haven't never I'm lucky there, I guess. But the words he speak to me, I think I just love it because I guess it is because I again relate to others and care about others and love to learn about others. And he had this free breathwork session and he talked about his community. And then it was another guy that say that, yeah, you should join. And I was like, when we, before we started to breathe, suddenly I was in his community. And he has a couple of sessions through the week and he asked about is there anyone else that want to like participate or like contribute in my community. And the beautiful thing with him, he's really private, but I love, and I think that's because I feel it and see it in myself. Like I have the trust in other people. And for him, like trusting me, even if he didn't know if I was a breathwork facilitator at all, it was just a like beautiful and trusting feeling for me. Like, wow, I can do this. And then sitting, like talking with someone you really admire on Instagram, it was like the most natural thing, like just like I'm sitting with you two now, like. And then we started breathing and it was a really beautiful space. I was a bit judgmental to myself, but the feedback I got afterwards told another or a totally different, like they had a totally different experience, so it was so beautiful to just experiencing it. So his community is really beautiful too, like really really loving, safe. Yeah, it's a really beautiful community. So I think that's why and it's also important for me to not just only facilitate, but also be the one that are getting breathed too. And that's also why I love to be breathed by the other Josh Perry. All the Joshes in my life. Uh, because I think it's also easy to take care of ourselves. I know it from when I was a yoga teacher, but also as a breathwork facilitator. It's so important to me to have like appointments to so that I know that I show up for myself. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I don't have time, or I do it tomorrow or later. And yeah.
My favorite thing you always tell me is I always forget. You always forget how good breathing is
Yeah.
being facilitated.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like you forget? Can you just kind of share for the people that are just learning about breathwork or have never heard about breathwork? Like what do you forget?
Like getting into my body again. And yeah, as you say, I always say it like that because the feeling after a session, even if it's just like 5 minutes or if it is for an hour, it is like, why don't I prioritize to do this every day, every time I feel stuck or sad or tired or whatever? Because it's so easy to forget. Um, so I guess what I'm forgetting is how amazing it is to just connect with myself and just emptying everything out, like my head, like the day, or if it is like a lot of thoughts or whatever. Or it can be pain, like neck pain, for example. When you go out from a breathwork session, it's like, okay, it's gone. Wow. So that's what I needed. I needed to slow down my breath instead of like sitting with my shoulders up with my ears, right?
Mm.
So yeah, coming back to myself, I guess that's what I'm forgetting.
We get caught up.
Yeah.
So, some things that, to your point, as I was just kind of reflecting on the pause breathwork journey of 6 months,
Mm.
they invited us, or I guess it was part of the curriculum to experience our mentor led breathwork sessions. And those could be hour long or 30 minutes. And some of the ones where I joined for the 30 minutes, I would think, oh, this is only going to be 30. This is going to be dumb. Like, it's probably not even worth it. And then they
Yeah.
would have us do this so slow of a breath for like 5 minutes. And I'm just like tears are running down my face. I'm like, how 5 minutes of this slow little breath and just coming back to me. That that was my experience, how you just described it.
Mm. Yeah. I used to say like we're breathing ourselves out from our head and down to our body and into our hearts.
Mm,
Because a lot of us are like cut off from our head. Like we are up in our head all the time, but and that could be because of trauma and everything, but it also because of a lot of stress, right? So we just shut off our bodies. Um, and we don't listen to the signs, like if we have any symptoms, like we don't listen to when it's whispering, but we whisper when it screams, or when it's too late, right? So I think that's also why it's so important to do breath work, if not daily, but just like a couple of times during the week, to connect with our body and like, yeah, listen to what it has to say, because it's really smart.
mm.
Mm.
Imagine a world where people did that.
It will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we have to start somewhere, and we are many amazing breathwork facilitators. And I really feel that breathwork is exploding all over the world. And I think it is because also people miss it. Like that part to connect with themselves. And just like you said, just 5 minutes and you're like, "Ah," crying or like, what is going on? And sometimes it doesn't matter. I had 2 sessions last week where I breathed, and I was in one of them, I was sobbing. I was crying so hard, like I couldn't breathe. I had a hard time connecting with my breath. And I don't know what it was, but for me, it was just like such a good relief to just like cry and sob. And we ended the session with screaming,
Mm.
and just to scream whatever it was that was stuck in my body, just scream it out. It was like, wow, because we don't take our time to cry or feel grief, or sometimes we don't even have time to feel the joy, right? So that's why I think also like breath work is for everyone. I don't believe like every training, every yoga or like CrossFit or whatever, I don't think that it is for everyone, but I truly believe that breath work is for everyone.
I agree.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't met a person that hasn't been amazed by it. I mean, a lot of people resistant to it,
Yeah,
but no one that didn't have some sort of shift.
no. And that's the beautiful part being a facilitator, like seeing others bloom. Really. I have this short morning session today where I also felt like, oh, a short session. It was such a long time ago since I did it. And I was like, oh, I feel sometimes a little bit of stress because, like, it is 2 songs and then we slow down and it feels like that. But then you see the breather, and she was like, this was so good to have a short session in the morning, like waking up, giving myself this time. I was like, yeah, it is. I just forget.
I forget.
So yeah, short sessions is amazing. Just a few breaths can like change us if we just do it consciously.
So I was on a call with my friend. He's a coach, and he was guiding me, just helping me like get clarity around my content. And
Mm,
he is inviting me to come up with a belief statement. And his is, I believe everyone should be inspired by their own life.
mm.
So he
Wow.
lives by that. And a belief is just a thought that we choose, right? And we're
Mm,
adopting and we're holding on to and we're owning. And so I haven't come up with my own yet. And so if you don't have one currently, that's okay. But
yeah.
if you just think for a moment, is there something that you would want to share with the world that just is something you believe?
Mm. It's a really good question. Um, well, I really believe in humanity, even if it's a lot of awful things that I don't understand. I truly believe that if we lead by example, it can be a better world. I talked about it with another woman, like the butterfly effect, uh, like or like when you are throwing a rock in the water, like the rings that are. But I love butterflies, so that's why I like to like talk about that, like just a small breath, or like a small brief, yeah, from the butterfly can make a lot or make a huge change in the world. And I truly believe that like if we see ourselves like butterflies and we like lead by example, and that doesn't mean that we don't do anything wrong. Of course we do. Of course I get mad. Of course I get like, yeah, um yeah, I I need to find the words now. Sometimes I just lose it. But I truly believe that if we do always try to do our best, like even when we get angry at someone, like feel into your body, like why did I say that, or what got me triggered, and also having like that courage to say I'm sorry. That's really like important thing for me. Not to say sorry if you don't mean it, but when you have really like, okay, I maybe I meant what I said, but I could said it totally different. Like taking responsibility for your acting, maybe. I truly believe that we can create a better world. Just look at so many, again, amazing humans we met, both or all three of us during our program, becoming breathwork facilitators. I'm like, wow, there are so many amazing people in this world. And that's again coming back to me speaking English because I want to like get to know everyone. And so yeah, back to your question, I truly believe that we can make a change in the world, but we have to lead by example.
I love that.
Thank you. It was a hard question. Maybe I think something differently tomorrow.
I was gonna say, is that an evolving question?
Yeah, yeah, I think so
That guy
too.
lived by that one thing.
Yeah.
My whole thing this week, my theme is that, it's a typical theme for me, but I am the creator of my life. I just wrote my whole little newsletter about that. And so I believe the same, like, similar thing. Like we create our reality, or our thoughts create our reality. So, why be so, negative and, have all these, just putting negativity out into the world, when, if we shift our mind and lead by from a more positive place, more loving, heart-centered place,
Yeah.
that ripple effect will happen.
For sure. I mean, if I would come in here super angry and super like, I hate life, I hate that woman in front of me in the line, I would I would ripple that to you maybe, or to my family, or but just like, yeah, like you say, see things more positive and see them with different eyes. Like in that, if that woman in front of you in the line, you don't know anything about her. Like that's also a thing, like being like don't not judgmental to other people because we don't understand, or we don't know anything about what other people are going through. So yeah, being like kind even to the most annoying people.
I kind of have an extreme example of this. This past weekend, I met this girl. I don't know if you guys know what lobster bakes are. We had a lobster bake where we cook lobster, because we live near the ocean. So that's one of our, summer traditions. But so I had never met this woman before. She is like stick thin, like a tiny little thing. And she is a correctionals officer at a prison. And my first question was, is it male or female? She's like, both. And she just was like, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Like I can't imagine having that job, first of all. So I tried not to, start judging her for having all this negativity around her own profession. But I tried to like, stay, coming from my heart, feeling, that she goes through a lot. But what if she, instead of hating them, had a like, some, you never know, some of those people might be innocent, that she's dealing with, or you never know what those people are, but it's an extreme. So I was like kind of going back and forth of, you know, how could she shift her mindset a little bit, just so at least she doesn't hate her job.
Mm.
Also, it's extreme. So can't
Yeah.
imagine having that job in the first place, but
No, it's interesting. But I mean,
right?
there are a lot of those kind of people. And I mean, yeah, I guess it would be a really hard life to go to that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But we also have a choice,
Right.
right? To leave the situation or change the situation or just stay as it is, right?
Yeah.
But
'Cause
for
I feel
me, and when you talk about prison, I'm like, yeah, but why? How did they end up there? Like, how my brain are like this. I want to know more about the prisoners. And I guess many people hate me because of that. But I truly believe that if you come from a really caring and loving like environment, mostly things end up differently than if you're not. So I'm like, they ended up there for a reason, and why? Like,
Mhm.
again, be curious for the why. But I could not work like that, I guess.
Mhm.
Too
And it's
emotional for that.
the same for her, like, why choose this job,
Mm.
Yeah.
you know? As if she thought that was, like, her only way to I'm sure she gets paid well to do that, but,
Mm.
if that she thinks that's the only thing she's good at or whatever, so I just wanted to be like, "Let me take you home with me and let me breathe
And
you."
breathe. Yeah.
Because either, maybe this job isn't for you, or maybe you can make a difference in those prisoners' lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard, and not for everyone for sure, but so
Yeah.
that one got me thinking this weekend.
Yeah. And that's really a dream of mine, like having, like facilitating inside of a prison.
Well,
And that, I guess that's hard, but that's because I know how beneficial it could be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to go to for a few weeks, well, maybe even a couple months. Once a week I would go to a sober home.
Mm.
So it was kind of like a halfway house, like they were either right out of prison and shouldn't be drinking, or had like a warning and had, part of the sentence was for them to be in this sober home. And there were only, a lot of resistance for them to sit down and breathe with me, but there were a
Mm.
handful of them that would. And one
Mm.
guy in particular he would just get so excited every week for me to show up. And that it was a great thing. I really enjoyed that. But
Mm.
also, also very hard. I'd see some of them come
Yeah.
home and not be happy. And like, I know that all they even need is a few breaths, but,
Mm.
that they have to also make that conscious choice to want to do that.
Yeah, of course.
But
And that's beautiful to
that would be a
like
great thing.
support others. I had the same. I was working with Ukrainian refugees,
mm,
like doing yoga for them once a week. And like, I can never imagine what they came from, but they were so strong. And for me, being that 1 hour a week where we like sometimes we cried, we didn't like most of them didn't speak English, so we would just like signing, or like for me, I talked and I laughed by myself because they didn't know what I said, and they laughed and I didn't understand what they said, and just hugging people like some of them met me once and they gave me gifts. I have some of them like around in here to really remind me, like they have running away from their homes, their families, friends, animals, and they are here and they are so grateful for me coming and doing yoga. It's like I'm the one that should be grateful here. But it's so important again to like really, if you have the time and energy to do something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a reminder that love is universal,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
it's one language.
Mm.
yeah.
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 Me too.
Well, thank you
And
so much, Malin. This has been such a
Thank you.
pleasure
yeah,
connecting with you.
Thank
tell
you.
our viewers, our listeners, where they can find you, your community, and any social media.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. And on there, I call myself begin dot within. So begin within with a dot in between. And from there, you will find, or you can connect with me, write me a message, or whatever that feels good for you.
Beautiful. And real quick, can you describe what goes on inside your community, like the format, like how the frequency, just anything that you want to share there?
Yeah. Inside of my community, we are breathing at least once a week. And now I'm so lucky that you are there contributing too. But sometimes I breathe with the moon because I love to work with the moon energies. And I also had a beautiful talk with someone today that she was like, I don't connect with the moon at all, but I love to have just like the time for me to just write down, even if the moon energies isn't something for her. So for me, it's just beautiful to have this community to connect, to breathe, and you have put up some short sessions that we can do. And also for the like having that safe space to share if anyone wants to do that, like my day was shitty or I want to celebrate or whatever. Like now it's still a small group, so it isn't that much of sharing yet, but that's what I'm like desire, to have this big community, safe community with amazing people that are like learning more about themselves and each other.
You're,
Love it.
yeah, you're the perfect human to just, I mean, you don't have to do anything, just you being is creating all of that.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Deeper Awareness podcast, where the journey of self-discovery and inner growth continues to unfold. We hope this episode has ignited a spark within you and inspired you to embrace a more conscious and authentic existence by looking within. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for upcoming episodes, where we'll continue to explore the transformative power of breathwork and emotional healing. Continue the conversation and stay connected with us on Instagram. Follow at Deeper Awareness Podcast to receive daily inspiration, valuable tips, and updates on our latest episodes and offerings. We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights from today's show, so feel free to share them in the comments below or tag us in your posts. Your engagement and feedback mean the world to us as we strive to continue to create content that resonates and empowers our incredible community. Together, we can continue exploring the depths of consciousness, fostering genuine connections, and supporting each other on our transformative journeys. This episode is brought to you by You Belong Breathwork, your destination for transformative healing and self-discovery. At You Belong Breathwork, we believe in the power of breath to unlock the deepest parts of ourselves, leading to profound insights and a greater sense of connection and belonging. Whether you're seeking emotional healing, a deeper connection with yourself, or a path to authenticity, our breathwork sessions, retreats, and coaching programs are designed to guide you on this transformative journey. Our experienced facilitators are here to hold space for you as you explore the depths of your consciousness and discover the infinite potential within. Visit youbelongbreathwork.com to explore our offerings and download a free guided breathwork session. Thank you for being a part of our Deeper Awareness community. Stay connected, stay curious, and may you embrace your true essence with love and compassion. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next episode.